All right, now we are going to get into one of my favorite parts of the process, which is sampling. So, as a music producer, one thing that you have to think about is sample clearance. So, ideally, if you play instruments or you have friends that play instruments, I would highly recommend going that route for a lot of your audio sources, because then you don't have to worry about any of that, any licensing, anything. It's just your own composition or a composition of a friend of yours. You can split the production credits however you see fit. Easy peasy. Now, if you don't have that source or you don't play instruments yourself, then there are thankfully a lot of different sources out there in the digital world nowadays. So a couple really popular ones are companies like Tracklib, Splice, Drum Broker, which they sell sample packs. There's several others as well, but those are some of my favorites that I use quite often. So with something like Drum Broker, they have musicians that make compositions and they sell them to the drum broker. You can just purchase off the website, and it's usually like 20-30 bucks per pack. And then all the compositions on the pack, then you can just use those at your will and not have to worry about any royalties. Tracklib and Splice work a little bit different. They're on a subscription basis, but once you have the monthly subscription, which is pretty nominal, I think around like $7 a month, something like that, then you have access to their whole digital library, and you can just download samples from there, and you're off and running. So those are some really good options. Again, if you don't play instruments yourself, or you just want to have more just different options other than what you can play, I would highly recommend those as well, so you don't have to worry about any sample clearance. So for the purposes though of this, I still do use records quite often. Right now I have a record on here that's by some friends of mine that they recorded an instrumental project called Comfort Food. And so that's Eloquent, Juicy the Emissary, and Boom Baptist of this record here. So I'm gonna just play a little bit of this record. Well, actually first I'm gonna show you the routing a little bit on the MPC. So basically I go in through RCA in the back, just make sure that my routing is correct. Go into sampler. From there, it's armed and ready to record. I just make sure my inputs are correct. And then I check the audio levels already, but that's good to go. And then I find the sample that I want on the record here. Then once I get to the area I want to record, I just press record. All right. And then once I have that sample recorded into the MPC, then I press keep. And then once I'm in my MPC menu, I'm going to show that in a little bit later lesson, actually, the details of finding the sample and chopping it up. But basically, yeah, just sampling from a record, you just go directly into the MPC, and then you're able to chop up and manipulate from there. All right, well, that concludes this lesson on sampling. And next, we're going to get into live performance with the MPC.